Hello and welcome, listeners, to another episode of Tactical Awareness. It's Season 3, Episode 8, the Tartary Army Korps, back once again with all them marksmanships. I'm joined today by Owen and Dan for another episode of Zeros and Heroes, where we do our faction reviews in N5 of the changes. We trade a list, talk about our favorite models, and then models we might have overlooked. So let's dive in, get this episode going, and cover this cool werewolf, dog, Spetsnaz, marksmanship-based faction of US Ariadna. And now it's the All Dogs Go to Heaven list. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Heroes to Zeros. This is the Tactical Awareness series where we're doing N5 breakdowns of all the factions. We decided to start with the two major hyperpower factions that were the most affected. We finished up Pan-Oceania, and last week we did the first of Ariadna's factions. They were the sad remnants of the U.S. Ariadnan Ranger Force. And today we're doing TAC, the Tartary Army Korps, the second oldest of the factions in Ariadna, and the one that Owen and I played the most. I'm pretty sure I played back when they first came out, and then you played them a lot. You had your famous All Dogs Go to Heaven list that you played.
I played US Ariadna more than I played TAC.
You think so?
In fairness, yeah, 100%.
I guess
100%. So, yeah. I played more. This one was fun because it had like a really fun gimmick that no one else could do.
And then yeah.
But now everybody else can do it, so it's like, who cares?
Or a version of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So I'm excited with this one because this is honestly of the remaining factions, this and Cosmoflot I think have the most variation for like lists you can make inside of it. And I think we might actually, like last time we had very similar lists doing US Ariadna. I think we're gonna have very different lists going this time. Owen led the last of these breakdowns. I'm gonna lead this one, give Dan some time to write a list if he hasn't already. And
you know me too well.
I can hear the click.
No, I wrote it during
we
US
can all
Ariadna.
Hear the click. I know I was gonna say you wrote it during the last episode. Little peek behind the curtain. Everyone's doing their homework while the class is happening. But I'll get started with this one, and I'll dump this in the patrons chat. Well, we haven't actually reactivated the Patreon, so I don't even know if there's people still in there, but that's fine. And let's see who is in mine. All right. So this is my big thing with N5, and we talked about this in the N5 like first impressions episode, like major changes. I think this is the age of the mid-priced gunfighter coming back and having an awesome time.
Is that why you posted your US Ariadna again?
I was what? No, I just did. Oh no, I grabbed the wrong list. Shit. Did I? It's because the time changed. Hang on. It's because I screen capped it and I didn't look at the. No, that's US Ariadna. That's TAC. I swear to God, maybe it just hadn't shown up yet when I did the screen grab. There we go. Let's delete that one. That should be there. Got it.
Bam. Look at all those Straylocks.
This Straylock's so good.
Agreed.
My favorite thing that's back, and Owen and I both love these guys because we both like. I literally have all these miniatures painted because I already love these miniatures. But my 4 Spetsnazes. Max AVA Spetsnaz. The Spetsnaz is back, baby. Although Albedo is a slight detriment to the Spetsnaz now with his marksmanship, having that penalty to him. The Spetsnaz is still great. Marksmanship, shock on all of his guns, martial arts 2, mimetism -3, stealth. He lost some stuff on a couple of his profiles, but his like profile brackets for the AP or the heavy machine gun has surprise attack -3, camo, and decoy 1. So you still get his classic profile, 39 points. This guy just pops up, walks around, sprays bullets everywhere, basically hitting all the time on 15s. And as long as he's got the right target, he's fantastic. So took 2 of those. Could have taken 4 of those, but that'd be all my SWC. Not that I actually used the remaining 3 to SWC, but I also love his friend Spetsnaz Parachutist with a boarding shotgun +1 burst. Because let me tell you, there is nothing that ruins somebody's day more than a marksmanship burst 3 boarding shotgun. With shock, by the way. Or shock grenades. Can also be an absolute nightmare because if he gets into grenade range, throwing a grenade and splashing around a corner into a fire team or something like that with shock can ruin people's days all around. So took 2 of those as well. Then I got 4 Straylocks, all with T2 marksman rifle. Because if you can have a T2 marksman rifle, you practically have a T2 machine gun. And these guys are 22-point variations of the Spetsnaz. They've all got camo, decoy 1, forward deployment +8, mim -3, stealth and surprise attack -3. Oh my God, they're horrifying to fight against. If they win a fight, they kill damn near anything. And that marksman rifle allows them, and the fact that they're in camo lets them maneuver into the range where they're outside your 16 if you've got like a rifle type weapon. Or they're inside 16 if you've got like a machine gun type weapon, right? So they can usually get to where they want to be to stack mods with that cover mimetism surprise attack for that sweet -9 if they can get you in a 0 band, and then hit you with that T2 gun and just blow your head off. So for those, then I got 2 Armandinos to do the jobs and throw the smoke if we need to block off fire lanes. One of them has an electronique, mostly just to go clear mines. And because if you have 2 points, take the electronic because he's just a cool little peripheral. The Armandinos get booty as well as their smoke grenades. They're mostly there for their Fizz 14 smoke, but having booty can have the chain rifle guy end up with like a cool weapon every now and again, which is kind of fun if you get one around with a machine gun. And then the fact that they have deactivators is going to let me do things like with their Whip 13 clear, you know what I mean, like koalas and mines around corners and turrets and stuff like that, just inside their zone of control. So they're very order efficient because they do have impetuous, which means you can use them to run into the mid zone with their smoke grenades and then just start like brain popping with their deactivator mines and stuff around corners, which is great. And then just a little Harris. Technically it's a full core 4 with Veronin as my leader, Strategos, command tokens. You're not going to want to fight through all that Strelok garbage to get to these guys. And then a Line Kazakh paramedic, a Line Kazakh rifle, and a Line Kazakh FO just to fill out the fire team and give me some orders if they want to go do something sometime. And that's it. That's my list.
I mean,
Comments?
I like it.
Thoughts?
Spetsnaz are great.
They're great. Strelocks are also great. Strelocks are 22 points. They're amazing.
Come around on Colonel Veronin, who you were like, I would never use this person. He would just get assassinated.
Only in this. Like only when everything else is so horrifying and you have a literal seat. Like you have 16 camo markers. 16 camo markers. So many camo markers. It's so many camo markers. It's a wild amount of camo markers because they've all got decoy too, right? So it's just camo markers everywhere. You have no idea what's happening in the deployment zone. And there's so much other stuff in this list that it could be the -3 camo markers that, yeah, there's a lot. You're gonna think that there's all kinds of things from like tank hunters to Vasily to whatever. Never suspecting that it's just a skew of all the same guy.
Isn't it just 12 camo markers? Who am I missing?
Oh no, you're right. So because the parachutists don't get them. Yeah, the parachutists don't get them. It's just the Spetsnazes have 4 and the Strelocks have another 8. So yeah, it's 12. Yeah, you're right. It's 12. I forgot there's 2 parachutists in there. If I'd done the smart thing and just taken nothing but Spetsnaz HMGs, then there would have been 16.
Now you're cooking with gas.
Now you're thinking like, oh,
you just mix them with snipers and HMGs, and you're like, there, I can fight all. I
have the Swick. It's only 14 more points.
It's less points. Snipers. Oh no, I guess the snipers are slightly more than the parachutists. Yeah. No, Spetsnaz are nasty. I think they're perfectly fine. And they even have D charges, so they just go do the mind wipes.
They could do jobs.
You didn't go with any Strelok FOs?
Nope.
Just gonna trust in the Line Kazakhs.
Just gonna trust in the Armandinos. They're all the Armandinos are both engineers, right? That's why the Armandinos are so efficient. It's 4 orders and they're engineers, so they can get almost every. And the fact they have deactivators means that they can get through like nets of repeaters and mines and whatever just by spending a whip check to pop it inside the zone of control.
Fair.
Yeah, I think the Armandino is going to be a really cool sleeper button pusher because he's so fast, right, with the double order, and then the fact that he's got a deactivator and booty, like, but he's move 6. You know what I mean? Like, you just never know with these guys; they're just always stealing. Yeah, I love Armandinos; they're fantastic. All right, who's next? Owen?
Well, I just made all dogs go to heaven again.
Yeah,
cheaper edition.
All dogs go to more extra heaven. Let's see it.
I have more camo than you did.
I mean, with the decoy, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, because you want antipodes. Oh, no, it's true.
Yeah, I do.
Everyone, yeah, you do, actually. Yep. I take it back. You
so we have
certainly
Veronin, and then we have 4 Straylock K9s, and then 2 Antipode packs, 3 Dog Warriors, 3 Kazakh Doctors, and 2 Line Kazakhs, and a 5-man pure team.
My God.
I love how it's just rifle. That's what they have. It's a rifle.
Whoa.
Hang on. There's a lot of chain rifles.
No, I mean for the Kazakhs.
Oh,
and
yeah.
weirdly, all the K9 antipodes have tack bows, which I find very interesting.
Yeah, it's such a
bizarre... The antipodes got bows?
The real question with the K9 antipode, I have a few, but the first one I have is, why do they have climbing plus? Why don't they have super jump? All the other dogs jump. Why do you climb?
I don't know. I think it's a holdover from before, to be honest.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, it's 16 camo, 8 of which are 25 mils, 8 of which are 40 mil. No, more than that. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of which are 40 mil camos. And yeah, we basically just flood the board with bodies and smoke and brawl everywhere. Like
throw grenades in every direction.
We throw chains in every direction, whether it's a chain Colt or a chain rifle, or we just like get into fights or shoot smoke grenades or throw smoke grenades or whatever. And I just fight until the entire first group is dead, and then the second group walks around casually pushing buttons and doing stuff.
Just shooting tack bows in all directions. You have so many tack bows.
Just need 4 tack bows. You need those. Keeps people on their toes.
For that DA, that sweet DA tack bow shot.
I mean, it's an objectively worse shot than just throwing your hammer at them, but you couldn't shoot it, right?
You couldn't fit in the mule bot to get their hammers, their whatchamacallits back, their hammers back.
They're not going to be alive. They're not coming home.
No, it's true. There's a one-way trip. This whole army list is a one-way trip.
Yeah. It's so frustrating though, because so the tack bow is +3 at short range, right? The antipode is BS 10. The hammer is 0 at short range, but he's Fizz 15.
Fizz 15.
So he's a better shot winging hammers at you than he is shooting you with the bow.
He's using his cool bow.
And the hammer is a better weapon because it's damage 6 DA instead of damage 8 DA.
Yeah, because
the only problem is you run out of hammers.
Yeah. That's why you bring the reloads, man. Gotta reload them hammers.
So yeah, there's no brain here. It's just
dogs. It's just a gimmick, and it's a cool as hell gimmick, and they're one of the only factions that can do it, right? This many slavering, super fast, weird, crazy, hard to stop murder people. And conventional rounds don't stop them, right? Like you need to have something that can to be viral or whatever to slow down these dogs. They'll get through otherwise.
Yeah, honestly, MSV3 is the new we're all gonna die here, everybody. Yep. Because they could just because normally the antipode assault pack is so obnoxious because they go attack aware, move 6. Oh, you discovered one of them. Normal order, move 6. Oh, we're on you. Yeah. And it's maybe you've discovered 2, and by that point they're already on top of you, and now you're engaged. And they don't even have to fight because they'll just wait because the chain rifle dog warriors are on their way to make sure that you go down. And they're just extra.
They're just there to add 3 attacks to the melee attack.
Right.
3 attacks. That's CC 20. What is it? AP
1 or 3, depending on what shape he's in.
Yeah. They do hit a ton of bricks when they get there, and you get sensor on them too. They really sniff stuff out.
There's sensor everywhere. The antipodes all have sensor. All the canines too.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah. You don't get to hide against this group.
How does all dogs go to heaven face all dogs go to heaven? What does that even look like?
The apocalypse, man.
Whoever goes first starts the sensor bombs, and then I don't know. They chain rifle everybody. Everybody trades.
Yeah,
you jump up and shoot with your hammer and your chain Colt, and I shoot with my hammer and my chain Colt, and we both die. That's how that plays. Actually, odds are
it's just in the title. It's in the title. Man. All the dogs go to heaven. That's what happens. Yeah. That's all it is.
Whoever can kill the gang of Kazakh doctors that are huddled in the corner waiting to shoot out,
waiting with their bandolier of meth darts to try and get everybody to stand back up. Because you can just imagine what the doctors for that regiment would be like. Just be a bunch of guys getting ready to shoot methamphetamines into werewolves.
Look, it's the only way.
Weirdest combat unit.
This is the only list that I had that got to a level 5 fire team, and they did it. So they're all BS 12 with those med kits, and they're shooting with special dice on them. Off they go.
Have you guys ever played oh shoot, I was gonna say Stratego. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where it's like it's unknown what you are, and then you move into each other, and then you both fall over because you're the same value.
Yep.
That's what I imagine them. It's just like
mutually assured destruction.
I had a reasonable list that had like duos of Fortovniks and like scouts and Kazakhs and all that, but I was like, nah,
why bother?
You could play this list. It carried directly over from the previous edition. Basically, you just got more points because it used to just be 2 doctors on a bike and another bike. But now you can do a full 5-man team in that group of medics. And so there you go. Maybe you put 1 dog warrior in group 2, just so that there's one of them that's even more.
Yeah. Just
well, I mean, those 5 guys are all your objective pushers, like those 3 Kazakh doctors. So like you basically huddle them in one corner and then get so aggressive across everywhere on the board that they can go and do one objective, and then that's how you get like minor wins is essentially the logic.
Yeah.
And with the change to a lot of units, this doesn't actually care. Like factions like Shazvasti or even other like infiltrati armies, this list just beats them up because they're all covered in chain Colts and like chain rifles, and they're all in the midfield already. And they'll just send stuff to engage, like that K9 Antipode just walking in and meleeing you out of camo. He's a scary creature. Like he's surprise attack, CC 20. He doesn't have a failure state. And like, unless you're like a Caliban who is a particularly strong fighter, it's like that. Those Foxtrots are getting beat up.
Yeah. No joke.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the gimmick. It exists still.
I've been modifying my list as you guys have introduced profiles that I had missed before, and I was like, wow, this has to go in there.
Well, feels like it's your turn, buddy.
Yeah. What's funny is I had 4 Straylocks, and none of them had the 2T marksman rifle.
Oh, really?
Because I was like, ooh, Mind Layer, this is great.
Ooh, like, Mind Layer. Not 22-point kill anything in the game, guy.
Look, I was convinced.
That's fair. That's fair.
And
all right,
so,
let's see your list.
Ohotniks they just tickle me in the best way.
They're changed though. Let's talk about that because they are different. They are not the same as they used to be.
Yeah, they're T2 now.
Have changed quite a bit. Yeah, they are now. They used to just be like it goes to short range AP sniper rifle. Now they're friggin' crazy.
Yeah, they're only burst 2, but it's 8 to 32 positive range, which is
they brawl. They're supposed to be big game rifles, right? They shoot.
Probably the best range band in the game. The sniper has a longer positive range band, but it's a 0 at 8 to 16, which is a pretty common fighting one.
Yeah.
And so it's really the only way you can get a negative is to shoot them at over 40 inches. And otherwise there's 0s or +3. So it's great. And it's T2. So if you ever fail anything against them, it's
scary. Is it T2 AP or just T2?
Just T2.
Just T2. And it's anti-material too, interestingly enough.
It doesn't do anything. Any ranged anti-material has no meaning in the game right now.
No, not right now. Not
I guess I should say all dogs go to heaven. It's very good at mind wipe in ways that don't seem immediately obvious. But the fact that they're all armed with like trench hammers.
Yeah. They can all break the button.
Oh, for sure. So I brought Pavel because why not? You know, he's got decharges. He's got berserk and camouflage and forward deployment and martial arts 3 and mimetism. He's a specialist operative. Wait, what? Yeah. So he kind of does it all, but he's also got Ohotnik and he's got an AP T2 CC weapon.
That's where that anti-material does matter.
Yeah, T2 is anti-material, which I found out today actually. So he's cool. And then I got a couple of scouts. One's the forward observer, one's my lieutenant. But they got Ohotniks as well. And because they have infiltration, I can kind of just put Ohotniks where I want them and bring them out when I want them. It seems fun. The conductors seemed neat. I don't know if they're very good, but I mean, rifle, flam, and spear at BS10, they do have infiltration. And so maybe I catch someone out with the flam and spear, thinking that other things are mines or whatever. Like these guys can pretend to be mines for the scouts kind of thing. it'll kind of like I'll put them together, so it'd be like because the scouts have a mine layer profile as well with the Ohatnik, and so I don't know, maybe they do something. Flaming spears are no joke. I got a couple of tank hunters with portable autocannons, and again, the camo is the theme of Tartary. But yeah, they just sit in the background, and if something shows their face, they throw a couple of dice, and hopefully the enemy blows up. Then we got a tractor mule because I don't know, it's a 5-point order. I love the 5-point baggage; it's wonderful. And then we got 4 Straylocks, 2 as Fort Observers, and 2 as T2 Marksman Rifles. I switched them to the T2 Marksman Rifles instead of the Mine Layer ones. And then I really like the Dynamos.
They're one of the best profiles.
I thought like you can bring them as a 15-point paramedic, and then you have built-in mine dispenser on them. And so
mine dispenser on a bike is crazy.
Let's
talk about that.
Like, okay, so I could have a couple tractor mules, whatever, and so I can just as a duo that's pure. You can go up and throw mine dispenser, but like your move 8. And so potentially you're throwing them in good range. That's like 24 inches outside your deployment. And so it's like if you're going first against like an all dogs go to heaven with camos everywhere, you just litter the thing with mines. And you're like, well, I mean,
you're setting up a choice too for those tank hunters. So like, let's say you want to shoot a mine down a wall a fire team stacked up against, and then you maneuver your Pavel or your tank hunter or your Strelok to go gunfight the one guy you can see. They got to choose now. Do they shoot back, and then everybody who's not that guy who's fighting you eats a mine, or like it's just corner shooting the mines? So there's a whole bunch of like cool options there with those dynamos, because they can maneuver so quickly to put those mines where you want them to be, and they're so accurate to 24. 2 dice pick the best per mine, right? And they can just lay them out.
Mine dispenser is built-in dual shot, so you can throw 3, and then one of them has the double.
But you shoot 2, and
you shoot 2, but one gets 2 dice.
Yeah,
or you can just shoot one at a time, and if you want to be really efficient with your ammo, but. Yeah, I think just for 15 points each, they kind of sit around, pop out, throw some mines, and you get 4 mines to throw, and then once they're done, they kind of just stick around, and then late game, they're specialists that can fly across the board and move a button or do something that you need to.
The Dynamo makes the 112 emergency service vehicle look like a loser.
Right. Yeah.
That is that is the biggest thing. With the 112 gets cover and the Dynamo gets everything.
Yeah. It is funny how that profile kind of highlights what we're talking about last episode with US Ariadna just getting left behind by some of these profiles, right? Like these newer profiles come out that do the thing they do in the same parent faction, right? But just better.
But I'm a doctor. Yeah. Anyway, we're not going to be doctoring here, friend. We're going to be shooting medkits.
Well, also, I'm going to be duoing shooting medkits with more accuracy, and the guys who want to shoot them at are all going to be like, Fizz 16 or something anyway.
Yeah. And I'm cheaper.
The Dynamos were like, oh my gosh, this seems so fun to play. And motorcycles, they're fun. And so the fact that you can run around and shoot mines everywhere, and then are fast enough to kind of like, you go up, shoot some mines, then the other guy pokes out and you run back and you shoot some mines, and then the mines are out and you're back in your deployment and you're going to be reloaded. Seems good.
Seems real good.
Well, we all ended up doing the same thing again.
We did not. You went all dogs go to heaven.
Okay. Well, you and Dan did the same thing.
Dan just copied us while we were talking.
No.
His lists.
Slight modifications. Slight modifications.
Okay. Nobody brought a vet Kazakh. Let's put it.
Nobody did bring a vet Kazakh. Well, so here's the thing. Can we talk about that? Because nobody tried to force a big super link in any of our lists so far, which I think is interesting because I think that's more of an N5 commentary. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think you should go like Vet Kazakh plus Vet Kazakh is like 70 points, and they're amazing. And they can just be the two of them walking around, and they can do whatever they want. Yeah. And like Frontovik plus Frontovik is also amazing, and it's like 40 points. And like,
and in N4, it used to be you took the cheap Frontovniks to give the bodies to the thing, and then you had your super 5-man link because Frontoviks and Vet Kazakhs could all link together.
Yeah. And they still can, but you don't. But you bring the Frontovnik MSV1 AP sniper in a duo, because then he's a Mimetism Warhorse MSV guy, and that's really good.
What are your thoughts on Ratniks?
I'm glad that he got tack aware.
Yeah.
It's not enough, but it's something.
Yeah, it was.
Make a BS14.
I originally had a duo of them, and I was like, this is too many points for what it's doing.
His AP Spitfire, when it actually had the extra burst, was cooler.
It does have +1 burst AP Spitfire.
Yeah, but now when you Harris them, you don't get to that wonderful 6 for realsies dice. Now you get 6 fakes dice.
Yeah.
Which I guess no one else gets that now, so that's cool.
I mean, there are some great profiles still there, though. Like, let's talk about, and there's some new profiles too that I don't super understand, which we should probably go through.
Who's new? Because I didn't know enough.
The Conductor's Trans-Tartaric Railway Troop. These guys.
Oh, that's why I took 2 of them. Yeah,
I know, but they're weirdos.
They're super weirdos.
They're super weirdos, right? Like they're an AVA2, like US Ariadna guy. They're whip 12, only BS 10. The FTOs have weird little like naked bodies, right? Because they get their cheap ass like 7-point chain rifle guy, or they get their BS attack +2. I'm not sure. Is that +2? Just to hit, they become BS 12.
The 7-point guy is kind of crazy.
He's good for 7 points, yeah.
Because he's a chain rifle, or he's got a light shotgun. I mean, they're corner campers, and so it's like I'm gonna chain rifle you, or if you got a really good dodge, I can shotgun you with a +6.
Yeah, they can't be a duo, though, unfortunately. No, you only get 2.
But they also have shock mines, and so it's like you could just lay some mines. There's no efficient way to lay them, which is annoying. But like.
Did you notice that
for 7 points?
Yeah. Did you notice the line Kazakh team though? Only like you have to have a line Kazakh in it. The only way to make it. They're the only thing that can actually form the team.
Yeah, but most of them are like that. Like the Fusiliers require a Fusilier.
Sure, but the veteran fire team is like you can have veteran Kazakhs or Frontoviks. Like there's some that don't do that where it's like any.
No, I know. I'm just saying out of the base fire team, that regular line trooper one. That's usually you need one of the base
pretty
boys.
Consistently.
Yeah, that's not uncommon.
Mm-hmm. Just they have so many options, it just kind of stands out, right? Although I guess
I want to know what's going on with the conductors because I don't know where they came from. They don't seem to have like there's no like model that was announced. There's no like thing that they're mixed into. If you Google them, nothing comes up. It's just the Infinity Army app.
Yeah,
like they don't exist, and so like I don't know where this guy came from. Like what is this model?
What is Trans-Tartaric?
I mean, it's clearly across the Tartary Corps, right?
Yeah.
Tartary.
So I think it's the Trans-Tartaric like railway. So it's like the Trans-Siberian Railway in Infinity.
Yeah. I got confused with all the little syllables. I'm on board now. Okay.
Like the only thing I can think of here is that this is like a prelude to them getting a vehicle.
Huh?
Because like they've opened the door that they want to add vehicles.
Everybody else got a flyer. They're gonna
Ariadna got nothing.
Ariadna got nothing. They're gonna get a choo-choo train.
So they're gonna get a train. Yeah.
Choo-choo. Could you imagine? I'd be so happy if it was just like a Thomas the Tank Engine choo-choo. Like
it's got the articulating like.
But it has like a big like AI like anime face on the front, like just smiling at people. Oh god, I can see it now. The Trans-Tartaric Railway. Thomas the Trans-Tartaric Railway engine.
Yeah,
oh, it'd be so good. And these guys pop off of it.
It's like the 7-point profile reminds me of something that you'd bring for cheap as an irregular order, but it's a regular order.
Let's talk
Ariadna used to have a whole faction of 5-point regular order guys.
They sure did.
They're dead
back in the day. They're all
This
dead.
is what you get to proxy them as.
That's right. Yeah. Let's talk about Frontovniks. These are your other veteran, like they're the light veterans versus the heavy veterans and the veteran Kazakhs. Great profile. Like just a fantastic profile. Whip 13, arm 2, mid -3 warhorse. They ignore BS negatives, courage. Their basic gun's a T2 rifle.
They're also only armored to 21 points.
Sure, their basic gun's a T2 rifle with min -3 war horse and courage. Like, if this is I'll take the price of 2 Fusiliers for a kill anything gun, min -3 war horse and courage. That's pretty great, and they're all linkable.
I like the MSV1 AP sniper.
Yep. Also cool.
That little duo.
I like that they have assault pistols. All of them.
As their sidearm.
So it's like just as like things have gone wrong. They've gotten close.
Yeah. Too close for T2 rifles. Switching to assault pistols. If they had a T2 assault pistol, that'd be the most bananas thing in the game. Could you imagine T2 assault pistol?
I'm gonna roll 4 dice.
Yeah,
and you're gonna pray.
And you better pray that none of these bullets hit you, because they're all kill you bullets.
I'm surprised neither of you brought the Vistral too, but I feel like you just both didn't notice him sitting there.
Let's talk about him,
because he's the new remote on the block in Ariadna.
Yeah,
2 wounds, 2 armor, BS-12, neurokinetic, portable autocannon.
Yeah,
he's the rat-a-tat-tat.
Why did it bring a tank hunter?
And he has sapper, so he goes from size 4 down to size 3. Sure.
Wait, yeah, what?
Why not?
Fuck it. He gets smaller.
Yeah, no, honestly, I did not notice this guy existed. I think what I do is both of my tank hunters get replaced with these guys.
They can bring 2 of these. They're 32 points each.
They're not camo, but it's just...
They're also they have a BS SR1 shock portable autocannon, so it's damage 4 AP explosive shock.
These are like the Fireflies had babies with the Vostok, right? Where it's like, what is this? What is this nightmare of a neurokinetic gun on this? Because it's a portable autocannon. It's also shock SR -1. It's so funny. It's such an insane
I think it's funny that if you were willing to spend the SWIC, you could bring double tractor mole Ergen MRLs total reaction. Yeah. And double neurokinetic these guys for 5 and less than 100 points, and then you just bring a bunch of cheap scouts, because Ohotniks don't cost anything. You can bring Straylocks. And then
you bring a Romotnik, and you bring one. I'm pretty sure they also have Armandinos. Yep, an Armandino and a bunch of the little 2-point robots to sit behind them and put them back together. The electronics, yeah, just fix them.
Yeah, I think that's
the Armandino is 10 points for that guy and a Romotnik. They can just sit there and put guys' arms and legs back on.
Yeah, I think the Vistral is, and like this is where it comes down to, like, this guy is why I went US Ariadna still feels like Ariadna, because this thing exists in vanilla and in Tartary, and this is not an Ariadna model. Like, in the history of Ariadna stuff, neurokinetics never showed up, and certainly not something that was such a, like, on the face of it vicious ARO piece that is also a robot. You didn't get that. That wasn't how it worked. You got like a dude, and he had camo and he could suppress real good, but like this guy is so against the theme that it's surprising that he exists.
I just realized that there's no Evo hacker in this faction.
Or any of them, because that's not what they do. Like they don't have the 7-point remote. Nope. They don't have this. They don't have that.
They actually, in one of the ITS seasons where Evos give extra orders, they gave the War Driver an Evo profile for Ariadna, just to be able to take it, but I don't think they have it anymore, do they? Just regular hacker.
Because the War Driver used to have an Evo, and now he doesn't.
It's gone.
He just has a regular.
Now. Yeah, it's gone now.
Yeah, you could actually swap out the tractor mold for the tractor mold courier, who's a slightly better shot with his Ergen, but also mine layer. He's 17 points. But again, like, what is this weird, like, okay, so is Tartary going the robot route? Like, are we going to get a bunch of cool looking, like retro future machines? And that's what they're going to start seeing? Because that'd be cool, I guess. But the rest of their army doesn't feel like that at all.
Nope. Doesn't feel like the robots. Let's talk about any of the profiles we didn't click or haven't clicked in previous episodes. We talked about the 112 before. We talked about Straylocks, the guys like Doctor. He's kind of a weird anachronism because he doesn't really do anything the 112 doesn't do except have a rifle.
He counts as a Kazakh.
I guess he counts as a Kazakh, yeah.
And the 112 cannot.
Yeah.
He can't join those duos or links or whatever. That's his claim to fame. The Barsuck, who came and beat up the Ariadnan grunt, took his lunch money and left.
Go on, explain.
Because he's the same guy. This is literally just a better version of a grunt. This is just a grunt
worst
from the
BS.
Previous edition.
Worst BS.
No, same BS. Same BS.
They'll BS 12.
They're also
BS 11.
BS 7. I know.
No, grunts are 12.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. Because they're panel across the board. They're whip 12 BS 12.
Are you how sure are you of that?
Not that sure, but I'm pretty sure they were.
Because they're definitely not. They're BS 11
for real.
They've always been worse. Their claim to fame.
I thought they got the whip because they got the guns. That's fine. Okay.
No, they get neither. They get dumb and bad aim.
They get dumb and bad at aiming. Oh no! With the aiming comes the dumbness.
Yeah, you get some built-in. Like this is literally they caught like Control C, Control V because they even have the shotgun unit the grunts have. And then they took their profiles, except for they gave them camo, so they're just better. Like the 12.4 deploy heavy flamer light shotgun Barsuck is identical to the 12-point heavy flamer light shotgun in 4 deploy 8 grunt, but the grunt's 4.4 and this guy's 4.2.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening here? Like, I guess these guys are 1 cc better, but they get infiltrate.
And then back to 4.2, which is weird,
right?
That's weird that they're 4.2 and the grunts aren't.
But then they get a BS attack shock AP marksman rifle damage 6 for 19 points.
Mm-hmm.
And he's linkable with like everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird. It's a very strange
Kazakhs
profile. It's a very strange profile that they've like imported into this faction and then given them 2 FTO profiles that can go with the line Kazakhs.
Right. And that AP marksman is a good guy to have. Like that's a cheap weapon on an arm 3 guy who could be the team lead of a cheap Kazakh group. Like it could be a Kazakh doctor.
He could be the stand-up gunfight piece for Veronan's little bodyguards.
Sure. Yeah. And then he can get his extra dice and off he goes. And he's good up to 24. Because again, his is a marksman rifle, which makes him head and shoulders above of everybody in US Ariadna, because none of them get marksman anything. Except for, none of them. I'm pretty sure it was 0. So like, why is this here? What purpose does this add to this faction that doesn't just take away from playing US Ariadna, other than I can proxy my grunt says Barsucks because they're literally the same guy?
True.
And I don't know. We referenced it and I talked about it a little bit as we were going to talk about Ariadna, and like this sort of thing that's come up twice here already. It only gets dumber. Because it's like other factions start to bleed in. And that's why I'm like, US Ariadna is the last Ariadna faction, and everyone else is like how close is this faction to just being Kestrel?
Pretty close.
They don't have Albedo.
Yep. They don't have any of the fancy tech stuff.
What do you mean? They have a neurocinetic sapper autocannon.
I know, I get that. I'm not saying they don't have cool things. I'm saying they don't have one-to-one parallels, right? Like Vasily's not quite John Wick because he's 11 to 15 more points and chain of command lieutenants and stuff like that with T2 marksman rifles. T2 marksman rifle, that guy's insane, by the way. There's a T2 sniper as well, but I love that T2 marksman rifle. Acrolat cannon, decharge, chain of commands, camo, courage, decoy 1, dogged, mimetism, stealth, surprise attack. He's a hell of a gunfighter.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Vasily? Like he's not Quinn, but he's a very different flavor of that, right? When we're talking about solve all our problems with bullets and stuff like that.
Right. And what I mean to say is that like this compares to factions out of faction because they have access to lots of MSV.
Yeah.
They've got infiltrators. They've got remotes. The only thing they can't do now is hack.
Yeah.
They just don't have the hacking game yet. They just have war drivers still.
None of us took the Ratniks either.
Yep.
He's a blackjack, right? Big heavy armor guy. Transforms.
He gets tack aware. Fuck you, blackjack. You get nothing.
And he has the deactivator too.
And dogged.
Yep. Dogged stand-up gunfighter with deactivator is legit.
And he's higher armor.
No, he's the same as I'm pretty sure.
No.
5'3" in the other one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Blackjack's just worse. Yep.
Doesn't have a T2 sniper
really
though.
Cool.
Doesn't have a T2 sniper though. He's got an AP Spitfire +1 burst, which is a burst 5 Spitfire. Goes to burst 5.5. His gun is insane. And then a Panzerfaust +1 burst, which is interesting because you want to always have the baggage bot around him because he dumps his whole Panzerfaust load in one shot. But he has a backup. He's got a Flaming Spear too. Yeah. And because he can, I'm pretty sure he can link with the other Ratniks up to 2 for a duo or Harris. He can have a 5.5 dice AP Spitfire, a 3.5 dice heavy rocket launcher, and a 2.5 dice Panzerfaust. His guns are real good. I don't know. I actually really liked the Ratnik for 46 points and 39 points. That's a 85 point duo, and they fight every range with every gun. Like, just stick a mule bot next to them so they can reload, and Jesus, these things are horrifying.
Just don't ever lose. I guess Armor 6 is no joke.
And dogged. You know what I mean? Like, if you need to sacrifice one of them, you can go all the way to the bottom.
I just mean the BS going down.
Sure.
Sucks.
Yep. Yeah, BS goes down by 1, but they got 4 orders between the 2 of them. It's not bad. Not bad for what they do. They're basically the equivalent. I don't think they can kill, but they can definitely scare the hell out of it with those. Actually, that AP Spitfire in active turn with 5.5 dice, that's pretty friggin' scary, man. That's a hyper rapid magnetic cannon with a worse survival rate, right? But like, still pretty dice heavy. I think they might kill you in them inactive.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? They just need to maneuver up onto them. And they get the orders to do it.
You just can't be in good cover.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. And then there's Carmen. I guess the Antipode back, but we never actually talked about what they do.
I mean, they haven't changed really. It's why we didn't really cover them. But yeah, they're just camo markers that are linked to a controller. The handler does orders.
They went up a point. I don't know why.
I don't know why either, because they don't have. The Animals have super jump.
Yeah, unlike the K9s.
Unlike the K9s, that's right. Yeah, because that was the one we were talking about. I was like, what were you saying where they didn't have it? But you're right. You're talking about the one that's attached to the Devil Dog.
Because the K9 Antipode in the Devil Dogs does have super jump. The K9 Antipode with a Straylock does not have. Does not. Jump. Yeah, he has climbing plus.
Yeah. Does she have climbing plus?
No.
Weird. They didn't mimic it, huh?
Yeah,
that's strange.
It's a choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. And then we have Carmen Johns, I guess, yeah. Which is a guy on a bike with a boat who also doesn't have
either of those.
Yeah,
doesn't have climbing plus or super jump.
Just 6/6 move. He gets dodge +2, which is nice. And he says a trench hammer peripheral. Doesn't get a tack bow though, like everybody else. They took his tack bow away.
They don't give the pack of Antipodes tack bows though. Yeah. God, if they did,
that'd be could you imagine?
Like if they were BS like 9 and had tack bows, and then the 3 of them just jump out and shoot you all at once.
And you can only react to one of them, so 2 tack bows just hit you with DA rounds.
Well, one hits you because the other will miss.
That's true, because they're BS 9.
They're BS 0 right now. You'd have to buff them up.
Yeah. Just garbage. So yeah. I think that's it. I think we're done. Any closing thoughts on TAC? I think we did relatively relatively different lists. I know you think that Dan and mine are pretty similar, but I think they're pretty different.
Are they?
I think so.
You have a lot more. You've got parachutists, and he doesn't. But other than that, you're just like a sea of dudes in the midfield fighting.
Yes, shooting guns, solving problems with bullets. Well, not everyone can take all
as soon as you both go 4 Strelic, you're the same list at that point.
2 Fort Observers.
He bit my Strelics off me.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't have any. I already made my rant about where I'm like, this one is losing the plot on what Ariadna used to be.
What do you mean?
A good thing or a bad thing?
It is what it is. Like it has positives because they become a more rounded faction and have access to things that Ariadna didn't used to have. So things like that Vistral mobile artillery and the courier unit. I know the courier was in there before, but the Vistral is new, and that is a wild gun. And then access to MSV a lot more. Cool. Just give them some hackers, or you're just another one of the armies. You're not even, you don't have anything from Ariadna anymore at that point. Like the moment one of those Ariadna guys steals a hacking device, then Tartary is just like a modern faction. They're not the like low tech, iconic, like rugged dudes that don't have the fancy technology that the others do, because you just have everything that the others have now.
Yeah.
That's all they're waiting for. So like mechanically, it makes them stronger. Like it is a buff to get access to more tools that fight in ways that other tools don't fight in. But thematically, it's a loss because you're losing the thing that was the cool thing about playing the rugged poor people. Now you get trained conductors and robots.
Conductors and
they're still poor. They're still poor.
Yeah.
You're pretending you're not poor because you've gone to space. Although our next faction review will be the people that actually went to space, the ones that are up there floating around thinking they're Major Tom.
The ones that if the Barsuk ate the
Grunts lunch,
yeah. These guys ate everybody's lunch.
It's true, and that'll be Cosmoflot. That'll be next week. Well, that's it. Dan, do you have any closing thoughts before we wrap this one up?
I would say Ariadna. I don't know. I guess people play them.
Yeah. Don't trust anyone that doesn't have a spacesuit when we're playing in space. All right, well, that's it. We'll be back next week with our next faction breakdown as we dive through Ariadna. It's funny because these two factions do feel like the most holdover-y, although weirdly that comes all the way full circle again when we get back to the vanilla, the Ariadna soup faction, where it's like where everybody else went to die in an even bigger way than Pano was. And we'll have our most modern faction review next, which is Cosmoflot. So thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll be back next time.